Hey, what's up, guys? Today is the 11th of December 2016. I'm going to be going over some trade ideas that I like for this week. Obviously, remember that they are trade ideas. They're not guaranteed to work in either direction. Obviously, you have to wait for your setups and you have to allow for the market conditions to be suitable to play them. But here are some of the names that I do like for this week. I do like CLD if it comes back into this 50 EMA. Right up against this uptrend over here. If it comes into this $5.80 to $5.90 range, I do like it for a possible long play. And obviously, it's a cold play, so it would be nice to get that sector start moving up. DPZ, I like it on a short side for an overall position. For right now, I think that it comes off the 50 EMA here, probably pushes up to about 166, 166.70, 166.80, and then provide for a short, obviously risk against the downtrend. I think if it can break the 50 EMA, the chart eventually pulls down, tries to get somewhere closer down here. I would eventually like to see the chart into this range here, which puts me under 155. Next on the list is RDUS. Had a couple strong downside days here with decent volume. So what I'd like to see is one more downside day. Bring it right back into this $41.60. Fill this little gap right over here. And then we're going to shoot for a bounce. So I'm going to look for a bottom area somewhere around $41.60 and see if it holds for a possible bounce. SIMO. Chart came over the downtrend and now it pulled back to it. Huge bearish engulfing off the on the daily on Friday with decent volume. Chart's having such an issue with this 50 EMA, but if it can get over there and close, I think it could actually have a nice way to the upside. So what I'd like to see is a pullback down to $44, come back into some support range over here, and if it can hold the $44, I'd be playing it on the long side, and obviously we need a break and a close over that 50 EMA for any kind of continuation move. ACAD. Now, I feel like this chart wants to curl back downwards here. So we have a tight little range that we're working with, and I'm thinking that the chart comes back down into this double bottom here. I'd like to see if it comes back and double test this bottom. So if it comes back to $25.25 during this week, I'll obviously be looking for a possible double bottom play and a bounce off of that range. If we do get a bounce off of that range, you obviously have an immediate downtrend that would need to be broken for any continuation hold on that one. But I definitely be playing the double bottom if we can come into that. TASR have had 3 consecutive down days here. I'm thinking we'll fill the entire gap, and I'd like to see this one a quick bounce here on the long side. So I'd like to see it down to $23 and honestly, anything about $23.50 I think would be interesting for a bounce, but I would even allow it to come down a little bit more and see if we can get this one. See if we can get this one for a nice long bounce off of these consecutive big volume sell-off days. So right into the gap over here again, and if we can get it right into $23.50, see if it holds there for a possible nice little bounce off of that oversold condition. HWAY. Next one on the list here, huge bearish engulfing. It's actually not a bearish engulfing. It's just it's like almost a dark cloud cover right under its 50 EMA. Chart is showing rejection with volume strength. I do like the way that it's starting to curl back to the downside. So I'm bearish on this one. I think if we get a push back up to about $22.75, you can take it on the short. Obviously, risk the downtrend or risk the wick from the day before. And I would like to see if the chart can come down here, break this immediate area of support here, and then come somewhere closer down to about 21 bucks. DEO trades now candles are a little bit sporadic on this one, so it's more set up so for a few days hold rather than a day trade itself. But if the chart was to pull back into this 102.20, it'd be an interesting area for a long. It is flagging here at the bottom, and we do have a downtrend break, at least at least for right now. So if we can get a couple candles to come back down to this 102.20 area, it could be an interesting long. Obviously you'd have to risk something, and that would have to be that trend. So you'd stay long above the trend, and if it breaks, then you would be definitely out of the position. WOOF, hanging man right at the top here, right at the 50 EMA. Chart got rejected here before. You know, it gets rejected here every now and then. So I'd be looking for a pullback on this one. I'm thinking if we can get the pullback off of it, I would like to see if we can actually play it on the long side. So if we get a pullback off of this range here, hanging man up at the top, we get a nice retrace somewhere right about 63 or so. Could be an interesting chart here to play based on the fact that we are getting a higher low. And if we get a rejection of the 50 EMA, a nice little pullback down to about 63 limits your risk, obviously, because all you have to do is risk the trend. And then we can see if we actually get the chart to break out. It would be an interesting chart if it does break out. It has some nice range to the upside. Last one for this week is CMS. Okay, so I feel like the chart's flagging here a little bit. We have 3 or 4 consecutive days of increased volume at the bottom. The chart keeps testing this 50 EMA, and obviously I can't say that I'm waiting for it to close over, because it have closed over before. But what you could see is some sort of an uptrend that you have to work with, and then obviously a breakout that you work with. So if you want to wait, you wait for the breakout completely to take it on the long side, or if it comes down and tests the trend, then you can play that long side based on the fact that it is stuck within a little wedge channel type trade here for right now. At least wait for the breakout if you want, or play the long side on the bottom of the wedge. Obviously, if it breaks the wedge to the downside, you play it on the short side. But for me, I like it I like it a little bit more on the long. So what I'd be looking for is about $40.75. Pull back some of this day's Friday. Pull back some of that. Obviously, don't break any of this little uptrend. And I'd be looking for a CMS on the long side. Obviously, if I catch it on the long side and the chart starts working, I'd like to see a break of this trend ultimately in order to hold it any longer. So those are the 10 for this week. Hopefully they'll provide some sort of a trade entry or a trade strategy for us this week. And if they set up, obviously we can play them. If they don't set up, well, you don't play them. And if the setups fail, well, you exit the positions. All right. Have a good, safe trading week. Take care.